Hi guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be speaking about something different. We're going to be talking about how to permanent residency application and how to apply for permanent residency in Canada. And there are different types of applications. For the sake of this video, we'll only be speaking about the federal skilled worker, the express entry, and the different steps, the kind of document you need to apply. And also we would start just by defining permanent residency, or who a permanent resident is, for people who don't know who a permanent resident is.
A resident is a person who has a legal right or status to reside in a country or territory in which they are not a citizen permanently or on a permanent basis. There are different reasons for an individual to become a permanent resident. It could be immigration. The other reason could also be that they just want to be able to go and come as they please for a particular country without having to denounce their citizenship to their home country.
So the express entry is a stream, and that express entry has three programs under it. We have the federal skilled worker, we have the Canadian experience class, and we have the federal skilled trades. There's also the provincial nomination program as well. So Peter is just going to explain what each program entails, but like I said at the beginning of this video, for the sake of this video, we'll only be speaking about more into the federal skilled worker program.
So speaking about the federal skilled worker program, this is a program where people who have suitable education, work experience, language requirements are elected to apply under the express entry system. The Canadian experience class, on the other hand, is similar to the federal skilled worker program, but the difference here is that in the Canadian experience class, you need to have Canadian experience. So basically you need to have worked in Canada for at least a minimum of 1 year. For the federal skilled trades program, this is one where people with skilled trades get invited to also apply through the express entry system. And the provincial nominee program, this one is, they're all a bit similar, but in this case, for the provincial nominee, you would have to apply to a province where there's a skills shortage in your area, and if you get nominated from there, you get a certain number of points, and you use that to apply for your permanent residency.
To apply for the express entry, there are different steps involved. The first step would basically be to find out if you are eligible. So finding out if you're eligible might require you to, there's a comprehensive ranking system, so a CRS tool, if I'm correct, where you can check. I'm going to leave the link in the description, so you can check if you are going to be eligible to apply based on the number of requirements or points, because it's points based, right? So there's a couple of things that you need to have, like the language test, the education, you need that, 2 or more degrees. You also need, you don't necessarily need to have a sibling in Canada or family member in Canada, but that would give you more points. So you just need to, step 1, find out if you are eligible to apply based on the requirements that they need you to have.
And step 2 requires you to check your score. In this case, you're still using the CRS tool, or comprehensive ranking system tool, but why this is important is because during a set period of time, the CIC would eventually release a cutoff mark. This is based on the certain number of scores or average, or however they calculate it, based on the number of people in the pool, their scores. And when they release this, let's say for instance the score this week is maybe 484. If you're not up to 484 at that set point in time, you would not be invited to apply. So it's quite important to check your score. There are some things that you would need to do, or there's some things that affect your CRS score. Like one that she mentioned is the sibling in Canada. The other thing is also your English test score. So for instance, it's always advisable to get an average score of maybe 8 in listening and 777 in the rest, the other 3 areas. The reason is because if you get anything lower than that, you kind of lose around 50 points, which is quite a lot. So suddenly if you're on 484, if you lose 50 points, let's say you were supposed to be on 484 and you lose 50 points, then you're already on 434, which kind of makes it harder for you to get invited.
So the next step would be to get your documents ready. So depending on the answers you've provided, you need to get those documents ready because they will ask you for them. So your IELTS, proficiency in English, so you need to get those documents ready. Bank statement, proof of funds, you need to get those documents ready. If you said you had siblings or like family members in Canada, you need to get those documents ready as well. Get your passport or travel document ready. Make sure you have time on that. Make sure it's not expired. Basically, you need to get your language test results ready, which is the IELTS. You need the education. So if you're an international student, right, you need your proof of education. If you've said you have 2 degrees, you have 3 degrees, you need to get those documents ready. You also need to have converted your that would basically be a different video. I'm sure most of you might have heard about the WES standard, so you need to have converted your degree.
And WES is World Education Services.
Yeah, WES is just, full meaning is World Education Services, so you need to have used that to convert your degree, which we would actually talk about that at some point. You also need to get your police report ready, so your police certificate, because you would need that. And you're getting the police report from all the countries you've lived in for more than 6 months. So if you've lived in the UK for a year, you need to get a police report from the UK. If you've lived in Nigeria all your life, you need to get a police report from there as well. So for every country you have lived in for more than 6 months, you need to get a police report from them. You also would have to complete a medical exam, like a full medical exam. I can't remember what exactly they test for. Do you remember?
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, but like you need to complete a full medical exam. You need your birth certificates. Required if you're declaring dependent children, you need to submit those birth certificates. I think it's just like proof of relationship as well. If you've declared your marital status, you need to complete your common union form or like your marriage certificate. There's the marriage certificate, the death certificate, adoption certificates required when a dependent child is listed as adopted. The death certificate is required if you've declared your marital status as widowed as well. So yeah, digital photos to confirm your identity, basically like a passport, like a passport photograph. You want to type in an explanation letter, you can actually do that as well. So you can submit additional documents that you feel would help your application. You also need a reference letter. So if you say you have work experience as well, you need to provide that reference letter from your office. So they need to confirm your job roles as well, so everything is matching with the NOC that you've chosen when you submitted your application.
And the next step would be to fill out your profile. It's important in this stage to not rush your application. Try to fill it out as accurately as possible, just because filling out the wrong information could basically ruin your application or have an adverse effect on decision made for your application. And once you've done that, you would have a score, which would most likely be the same score you had calculated with the CRS tool. And all you have to do after that, when you click submit, is to basically wait. So once you click submit, you're going to be in a pool and you would have a score. And like I said, sometimes they call every 2 weeks, sometimes every month, sometimes whatever suits them. They will eventually send an email to everyone that has scored above or on that cutoff mark by a certain date. And once they do that, if you get the email, that means you've gotten your invitation to apply. And then you would have to submit all the documents to validate or prove that everything you have filled out in your profile is actually correct. If you have a particular question in mind, maybe just leave a comment or just drop the question in the comment section, and we would be able to try our possible best to answer that. We're also going to be leaving links to the Canadian immigration website, where you could check, see the documents, see the requirements, see the CRS tool, basically everything you would need to apply. And yeah, till next time, I guess we'll see you guys.
Yeah, see you guys next time. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so you can stay up to date with my videos. See, this year I said I'll be consistent, so I'm being consistent. And to everybody that has subscribed, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Like you say, bless, all the time.